let's get the old girl fired up here. Key in. What is up, Team Loud and Proud? I hope you guys are doing absolutely awesome. On this frigid morning, we still have snow everywhere. Everything is cold, it's freezing, it's in the 20s again. This exhaust, I was thinking about cutting it back and hiding it more, because if you see right here, if you're looking at the exhaust, now this isn't the main focus of the video, so don't get confused by that. There's a bend in the exhaust slightly right here. Now the only thing that I could do, because if I cut it back another 2 inches just to hide it so it's side exit like that normal, there'll be a bend and I won't be able to. I'd have to cut it back here behind the bend, which means the exhaust tip would come straight out right here, which I'm honestly okay with coming out straight out like that versus directly kind of like more fanned out directly behind the tires, so to speak. But yeah, do I want to do that? Do I not want to do that? Do I want to do that? Shoot, I'm kind of thinking I want to. Do I have to? No, but I kind of want to. So let's do that right now, and then we'll move on to the main topic of the video. I have a pretty good feeling you guys will like this style exit a little bit better as well. Previously, used to come pretty much all the way out and go all the way out to here, completely almost like a 90, right behind the mud flap there. And basically what I did is I just cut it back right behind the bend in the tailpipe to where now it pretty much basically at an angle like that. Which, to be quite honest with you, I think it looks pretty sharp. Pretty much has it not hidden, like when you're driving around obviously you'll be able to see the thing, but it is tucked up in there a little bit more to where if you're up at this angle it just barely pokes out where the dually fender is, looking straight down on it almost, but it's not sticking way out, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, looks good. One thing really quick, we did just finish all the shop shirt sales, so thank you guys so much for all the orders. I just ordered in all the shirts, all the patches, and all that stuff that you guys requested this morning. Pretty darn expensive to order and all that stuff, but guys, you guys crushed it. You guys did good with the sales, and I really appreciate all of that. By the way, we do still have hats and decals, and those we do have in inventory on hand. They're not custom made, so those you can buy whenever you want, and they will get shipped out pretty much the very next day. Link in bio for merch. Let's get on to the video. We are going to be doing an oil change on the old girl. I've had a lot of people requesting this, and we usually always do it within the first week, and it has been about 9 days I think since I bought the truck. So we are going to do the oil change, so you guys can feel better about that. But we're also probably going to take the turbo silencer ring out if it's not already taken out. However, within the next, I don't know, handful of weeks, we might not even have this same turbo anymore, wink wink. But I guess for the time being, we can take the silencer ring out and have a little bit more tone while we do still have it. It says heavy duty for diesel, 15W40, that's what the guy recommended at Napa. I had some guys making some smart comments down in the comment section saying, oh, you know, buying cheap oil is really you're gonna regret it in the long run. I'm like, cheap oil? I'm like, this stuff was $100 for the oil, the Lucas stabilizer, and the oil filter. I'm like, I don't know how that's cheap, but you know, whatever that means, I'm still gonna use it. You know, I don't put a lot of miles on my vehicle, so by the time I change this again, it'll probably be like 2,000 miles that this oil was in there. I'm not one of those guys that will try to push at 5,000-6,000 miles like the new oils say you can before doing your oil changes. I never do that. My dad never does that. But I don't have a fuel filter on hand because I didn't have any at the place at the time. But since it doesn't have anything to do with the oil, I feel like I can do the oil change and then just come back and change out the fuel filter pretty easily on a different day. I've already done one before. It doesn't have anything to do with the oil, so I don't have to do it all at the same time. But I am going to get a fuel filter very soon. Just wanted to touch on that with you guys really quick. The guy said this is what you want if you're, you know, for that truck. So I mean, I took his word on it. He got me 12 quarts, which I believe this truck takes 11, but I'm going to look it up on Google one more time just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure the truck takes 11. However, I'm going to substitute out 2 of the quarts with this Lucas heavy duty oil stabilizer. Some guys don't use this, some guys don't recommend it. We use it every single time. Apparently it's pretty darn good stuff for your engine. But yeah, that's what we got. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get it out. We are going to try to get this oil changed and get it done fairly quick. And then, like I said, right after that, take that turbo silencer ring out. Actually, we'll probably take the silencer ring out right before we fire it up, you know, after completing the oil change. Truck has just ran for about 3 or 4 minutes, so the oil should be all good and should be ready to come on out of there, but not be, you know, 200 degrees. And yeah, we're gonna get down there and get to change it out right now. Well guys, we got the oil draining and it seems to be draining pretty quickly and it's pretty much starting to thin out, but there is still some coming out of the drain plug. So what we're gonna do to kill some time here is while we're waiting for that to finish getting all that dirty oil out of there, try to get rid of the turbo silencer ring in the old dually. So what we're gonna do is you gotta take out this little screw holding on this band. But basically the turbo silencer ring is this ring right here, this big kind of cup shaped thing around this main inlet here, the turbo to the turbo. And actually a good way to test your turbo is if you can rattle it around, and this one spins very freely, but there's no rattle, so we're good. But what we got to do is we got to get rid of this safety clip here, this kind of clip that kind of cradles that turbo silencer ring into place there. This can be a little bit tricky to do, but all in all, it's not that difficult. Now, if you can get the thing off track, you pretty much got it. So once you got it off track, you just kind of want to start working a flathead screwdriver like around the track of that thing. Break that thing loose. You want to be careful with your hands. You don't want to cut your hands or anything. And there's your silencer and clip. Keeps it on track. And right there, that I just dropped. Okay, right here is your turbo silencer ring. Now we've got a collection of these now, but that basically all that does, it doesn't like increase a bunch of performance or anything crazy. All that's gonna allow is to get more turbo whistle out of your turbo and out the exhaust. So if you like the sound of a loud whistling turbo, that's not going to be sounding like a bulletproof 6.0 or just a 6-liter in general like a Ford, but it is definitely going to help out and it's definitely going to give it a lot better sound. So yeah, that's how you do that. Now what we're going to get to doing is putting the drain plug back in, getting to taking off the oil filter, which I'm probably going to do while I have the hose off, which is right there. And then what we're going to do, buckle it all back together, fill up our new oil filter with oil, clean oil, put it back in there. Now it is pretty simple to do an oil change in one of these trucks, especially if you do it the way that we do it, which is 11 total quarts of oil / oil additive. So all we do is we do 2 Lucas oil stabilizers. These are 1 quart containers. So we take 2 4-quart bottles, so 2 gallons of oil, and then we just take 2 of these, and then there you get 10 quarts, okay? You got your 4, 8, and your 10. Now, the only next thing you do is you take your next container, or if you just want to buy a 1 quart, that would probably make more sense. Technically it's more expensive, but it's technically cheaper all around if you just do that route. Unless you know you're going to use the oil later on, then it's cheaper to go with a whole big container, which with the trucks we have sitting around, we will eventually use it, so I'm not worried about that. And then all you do is you take 1 quart of this, you fill up your oil filter, which takes about 1 quart, thread it up on, put all of your oil, make sure you put your drain plug back in there, but then all you're going to do is then take the rest of that. We usually do 1 container, add our Lucas, and then we do another container and then add a different container of Lucas oil stabilizer. So we're going to get to doing that process right now, and then we should be pretty much good to go to fire up the truck and let her idle. so I just got the oil change pretty much completed. So we're gonna probably, with this drain plug open so it can, you know, get down there as best that it can, let this sit for another, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe, which if you're not doing any Lucas heavy duty oil stabilizer, 5 minutes is probably, you know, overkill. But with this, I wanna make sure everything can get down in there properly. Better safe than sorry. Then we're gonna button that up, which I can actually do right now because we don't need to wait on this to button that up. Put that together, get the truck fired up, but then we can also see how that turbo sounds and see if we can hear it any better. Get all ready to start her up. I'll show you what I was working on behind the truck in just a second here. This thing had a good 15-20 minutes to make sure all the oil is down in there, so if it's not all down in there, something's wrong. But we should be all good. I'm not even gonna close the hood actually because I'm gonna have to pop it again anyways to check oil level, but start her up, see how she runs. I don't hear it anymore, but I don't know if you guys heard that, but at the beginning, I don't know if it has something to do with that Lucas oil or I really couldn't tell you what it was, but at the beginning for like that first like 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds, I heard just like a almost like a squeaking sound, like a I don't know, like a strong suction sound, if that makes any sense at all. Notice my exhaust is tightened up a little bit more. I'll show you what I did. I basically took one of the hangers that I didn't end up using the first time and I drilled a hole up to the tire hanger just a little bit bigger so that it would fit this new hanger, and then I cut one of the hanger ends off because it was a double hanger thing that came with the exhaust system. I cut one of them off so it wasn't in the way, and then I put one of those rubber hanger boots on there. And then I hung it up through there to suspend the exhaust and keep it from being able to rotate like it was. So that's how that works, and it really only has about an inch or two of space between the exhaust tip and the fender now, which is almost perfect. But enough of that. The truck seems to be idling just fine now. There's a little oil drip under there, but that's from the way I'd taken off the oil filter. There's some runoff that went down onto the frame right there below the engine, and it's just some runoff that's still dripping off there. Well, we're gonna check our oil level here. See where we're at. I let it sit about 10 minutes. There's your safe line. Got a clean dipstick. Try not to be too rough with it when I'm trying to check my oil level, so I can make sure I get a clean look. And that right there is perfect. Okay, right there is the best focus I'm gonna get. But there's your full line right there, and then right back there is your pretty much low oil line, and it is just a hair below max full line. So that is perfect oil level. Well, looks like we got perfect oil level. I'm gonna close up the hood now. Gonna clean up everything, get the truck backed out of here, and try to get a little bit more justice of that turbo whistle. See if we can hear that turbo any better. And also over the next day or two, I'll be checking to make sure there ain't a bunch of crazy oil leaks or anything stupid. I'll do a couple revs and maybe we can go on a short drive or something. I'll try to figure something out. Well, I don't know how well you hear any kind of difference from the outside, but I'd say from the inside you can hear that turbo a ton louder right next to the, you know, obviously under the dash on the passenger side you can hear that turbo quite a bit better. I don't know how we're gonna do any kind of drive-in test or sound, you know, like in the cab like that, because I don't have any GoPro mounts and it's kind of hard to drive a manual and hold a 2-pound camera. I think that exhaust looks a ton better, that tip heading down there. It's hidden, but it's tucked away a little bit. You can hear it spooling up way better already. Listen. Yeah, you can hear that turbo winding. And we'll try to go for a little drive. I just got to take the shifting obviously really slow, but we'll go for a little drive here in a second, just to see if you guys can hear that turbo. Definitely not quite as easy shifting, but hear it? Get the idea, you can hear it. I'll get back to you in just a second. Well, everybody, I'm gonna wrap up this video so I can get in, edit the thing up, and have it up to you guys around 7 o'clock this evening. Thank you guys so much for stopping in, watching the video. Like I said, that's my routine for changing the oil. 2 quarts of Lucas, 8 quarts of just, you know, whatever oil of your choice, and then, you know, I do a quart inside the oil filter, and that's how I do it. And we did take out the silencer ring today. Sounds a lot better in the cab. From outside, I'll have to check when I edit the video whether or not I think I could hear it in the video itself. But overall, we got a few things done. Got a new hanger on the back exhaust there. Just kind of just another day in the garage, just hanging out, just part of the community, just doing that type of thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, smash that like button. Let's get this video, I don't know, what's a good goal? 1,000 likes, does that seem doable? I think we get pretty close to that as it is pretty much on a daily basis. Let's try to do 1,000 likes on this video. Leave some comments down below what you thought. Get this video ranking up there a little bit. And if you guys have not yet joined the team, join the family, loud and proud. That's where it's happening. We're growing every single day. Just, you guys impress me and just amaze me every single day with the way the channel's growing, the view counts, everything. It's just hard to believe. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Join the family. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.
love, going day to day, but I know it takes time and I'm patiently waiting. Sometimes I contemplate, cause one day you feel so close and the next is out of sight. But I know I gotta hold on tight to go back to just going out every night. Like if I'm about to let it go now, I can live alright, live a normal life, doing 9 to 5. But I know I'm more than that. I gained this skill, wasn't born with that. At the end of the life, it's a memory.